we're here at the Sabine River, Bassmaster Elite Series, first event of the year. This is our Fishhound Elite Series field test. We chose 3 baits this week to take a look at. First one was a Yamamoto Senko. Excellent all-around bait all year long as the fish are shallow. Unfortunately for the Senko's sake, we got to the Sabine River and it was muddy. One of the problems with a Senko, or one of the things that it doesn't do well, is it doesn't really move any water. It doesn't create any vibration. When the fish are shallow and they're in muddy water, you need something to kind of move some water to kind of let them know it's there to trigger a bite. So the Senko really ended up not being a player this week, but I'm sure it'll be back in future shows and I'm sure it'll shine somewhere. Second bait we went with was the River to Sea Big Papa Squarbill. Excellent Squarbill plug. I put it through its paces this week. Does everything it's advertised. It's got a good knock in it. It's kind of a one knocker system rather than a bunch of BBs. I like it when it's, you know, in muddy water. You know, I like that big knock. The bait didn't shine well this week, and here's why. Not because of the construction of the bait. Excellent bait. Loved everything about it. The reason it didn't shine is these fish went to the bed. We came here, and normally it would be kind of pre-spawn. What happened was the water got really warm over the last couple weeks. You know, we had a really cold winter, but then it warmed up really fast here in South Texas. So what happened was the fish went to the bank, they went to the cypress knees, they went to the reed clumps. You really couldn't get at them with a Squarbill. Had this tournament been a week or two earlier, this bait would have shined. Now, I will say this, I pulled up on a cypress knee the last day of the tournament and I caught a 2-pounder that really helped my finish. So, and I did catch it on a Squarbill here right in the river. So it did produce a key fish for me this week, but it certainly wasn't the player. All right, guys, and the third bait we decided to work on this week and do a review of is the Bass Kandi T-Craw. I didn't know anything about this bait. You guys put it in my hand for this event, and it's an absolutely phenomenal bait. I caught every fish that I weighed in -1. So I weighed in, I think, 11 fish over the 3 days, finished 21st in the Elite Series event. 10 of them came on the Bass Kandi T-Craw. The reason it shined this week over the others, the other 2 baits we reviewed are excellent baits, but the reason the T-Craw shined this week is I was flipping. We got here and the water was muddy. And when the water's muddy, you know, the fish had moved to the bed, so the Senko really didn't play. But this T-Craw, what it does is it's got big flappers on the back and they've got kind of a ridge on it. And when you pitch it in there, these flappers go down and they move a lot of water. And the reason that's important is when you've got muddy water or even heavily stained water, you know, you want a bait that the fish can feel as much as they see, because the sight's very, very limited. And what I was doing with this bait, it rigs so perfect on this Mustad Grip Pin Max hook. You know, Denny Brower. I figure anytime you're flipping and you got a hook that he's designed, you're probably in pretty good company. And so I rigged it all week with a 3/0 grip pin hook, Max. I pulled them out of hyacinths and reed clumps all week. But the real key to this crawl was getting it in there. It went through the holes in the hyacinth mats really, really well. And what it did better than anything else is it moved water. And I can't stress that enough. When you get on these places where you've got stained water, you got to be moving some water. The fish have to be able to feel the bait as much as they see it. And that was the key this week for me. Bass Kandi, durable. I went through about 2 packs, that's it. Now, we weren't catching a lot of fish on the Sabine, but you know, we certainly did catch some, and I only went through 2 packs. So, you know, when you can buy a couple packs and go through 3 days of tournament competition, you've ended up with a pretty good bait. My rod and reel setup this week was the 13 Fishing Concept C reel in an 8-to-1 ratio. I also used an Omen Black 7/6 medium heavy flipping rod. I think one of the misconceptions out there is that we all use pull cues. You know, we use these real heavy stiff rods. You know, when I'm flipping, even in the heaviest cover, I like a medium heavy flipping stick. I like a lot of rod bend. It really loads up on the fish. You know, we don't snap hook set like we used to, so we just kind of use a pull hook set. Excellent, excellent rod and reel combo. Got the job done for me this week at the Sabine. All right, guys, that's it from the Sabine River. This was our first Elite Series field test for Fishhound. We've already got our 3 baits figured out for Guntersville. Can't wait to bring them to you next week.